Good afternoon, everyone, and we're live again for another episode of Cashflow Digital. Before we start getting into anything, check out ODYS over there above Mike's left hand or right hand side if you're looking at him.
It's hard to
ODYS,
look at him, but
yeah, you don't want to look over there too much.
he's like the sun. Yeah.
But you get $100 sign up bonus just for signing up if you're interested in age domains. So check them out, guys.
I saw Alex in the group earlier today, and he had some good advice for someone in there that someone was trying to sell a PBN, and I think it's like 50 sites or something like that in a restricted market, and they weren't selling it with the content. And he made a good point of like, why aren't you selling it with the content?
Why the fuck wouldn't you? Yeah, give me.
So it was a good. I think the response was that came back in that group was that some of them have been down for a month or two, but like it's still like to me, like thinking about that, if the content was indexed, the content was performing, and it was doing its thing, even if the site's been down, that's a lot of money saved, dude.
Yeah, especially if you're going with like legit content writers and shit.
Right.
That adds up. Shit, just even like cheaper $20 articles times 100 is
that's
a amount of money. Yeah,
quick savings, quick way to get people to. I mean, if you don't have the database anymore and you don't have the content, I guess I would want to sell it without content, but I don't know if that's the case.
But you know how much of a pain in the ass hosting is for fucking PBNs. So
yeah,
dude,
that's my
if I was to buy a site from one of you fuckers and we agreed, like, let's buy this network, and I came with no content, I'd be very fucking angry.
I would get my money back quick. If that wasn't known up front,
specifically like stated in contract, this is a domain sales, I would be pissed. And
how much work are you going to have to put in if you get like 50 sites and you're like, oh great, I've got to build content on all of these? It's enough of a pain in the ass with one site,
Yeah. I didn't even know selling websites with no content was a thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, we know domain squatters that just like grab them and sit on them for years, and when they want to make money, they can make money because they've got all these domains. But they're just out there.
Or they don't make money.
Well, when they want to make money, that's why I said it.
No, that's interesting. You're right, though. Like people I know with really big domain profiles that domain, like they'll like get in a situation where they need money, and all of a sudden they sell a domain for $10,000. I'm like, well, why aren't you just doing this all the time? Like, why are you holding on to these things? Sell them.
Well, they get attached to the domains for whatever reason, which I mean, I kind of get it, but
they're like pets.
It's like houses right now. Like we're looking for to do an Airbnb still, and we put an offer in over the weekend, and it's like they're attached to the house. They've owned it for 17 years. Now they're separating and stuff, and they're like, we put in our offer, and then they're like, everyone should put in their best and final offer. I'm like, we did that already. Thank you.
They're separating and they're still holding on, huh?
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah. Well, you're in an odd part of the market right now, just because home prices are softening because of the rates, and you've got these exorbitant rates compared to a year ago. So it's like someone's got to let go, and you're going to have to accept that you should have sold this 6 months ago as opposed to right now.
Yeah.
So, because I mean, no one's going to pay for as much for a house at 5.5% interest rate versus 3%. 6 months ago. So it's just, it is what it is.
I do when I do them, and I'll take 8%.
That too, yeah. But you bought it. How much is your house appreciated since you purchased it?
Absolutely. Yeah, like that.
Imagine doing that on your current home price. So
the one that I had in town.
If you'd held on to that bitch, you probably could have.
No. Like it's crazy. Like some of the shit right now is insane, dude. Like the one that I had there, I bought it like $95,000 or something.
Yeah.
And
you put a lot of work into it, but
I put about $20,000 into it, and I made about 80 on it. But I think it just sold. That one just sold for like 55.
It was made out of cinder blocks, right?
It was made out of fucking cinder block, bro.
Yeah, like a fucking elementary school.
Yeah, it's crazy. Online Pondit has a good question, I think. My question is, disallow robots. Disallowing a page by robots text. Do I still need to add no index tag, not to crawl or index a web page? Yeah, I would absolutely keep the directive on the page because they will ignore what they want to ignore. If you want it not in the index, then keep the no index on there. If you want them to try, the more you want them to not touch it, then get the no follow and just keep them off of it there. Because they will crawl all of it. They will put time into it, and they will ignore those directives.
Yeah, it's a real pain in the ass when you switch a bunch of pages over from one site that you've no indexed over to a new site, and they keep indexing the old site and they won't fucking index the new site at all.
Yeah.
And you can't 301 it. So
it's just always a good idea to just protect it at the page level. Like, don't just count on one thing to work with Google. Like, always.
That's sweet. It's finally indexing. Speaking of,
Is it?
Yeah.
Right on.
It only took 6 months.
Sometimes it's fucking weird. I had one like just kick in like right after this core.
Yeah.
They started crawling a hell of a lot of shit with that when they started fully rolling out that update. Like shit that wasn't in the index was getting.
I really think if it's truly based on like the spammier content, I truly think it was like a .xyz situation where they allowed more than they knew that they would for a period of time, and they're like, boom, done.
They've been doing good data collection. Like there's some things that we're going to talk about, like in this kind of outlines I'm putting together, where you can see that they're making it very obvious why certain methods work and why certain methods don't. And if they're taking and rewriting authority websites in certain spaces in their own knowledge graphs and things, then we have to really understand it. Okay, Google is the authority, and no matter what, some of these old research techniques that people are using right now, a lot of the people that are complaining about like losing 80% of their traffic right now are using like outdated methodologies to collect data and to start sites with. So it's interesting because it really is the same old shit, but it's the processes that start to become outdated because people keep looking at certain things as this is authority or this is not authority, this has heat, this has no heat, whereas that changes all the time. It's kind of what we went over on the last event, but it's an interesting rollout. It's definitely not done.
Never done.
No, it's never done, but this one is definitely not done. Another question there. My top interlink pages are about info and most of the footer pages. Okay, yeah. So talking of the site structure and how you're following that page rank right there, you definitely don't want them to be your top linked pages. I would say, just by saying what you're saying here, that your top level of your categories, your content, are not your menu's not properly set up. If that's the case, that you have some modular work to do, and by modular I mean like you can change your menu to strengthen it. So what I would do is I would look at the competitors in your major SERPs and really take a look at where their top link like pages are. So if and I'm talking internal links, crawl them. And look where their menu structure is going. That's one of the biggest things people miss. They go, I'm not
someone that does that exceptionally well in the rehab niche is addictioncenter.com. The modular linking, like you've mentioned on the webinars in the past, they do that exceptionally well. It's easy to copy what they're doing because they make it so blatant, but they do it so well. So, and
that's what that's like how we break apart. Like in my head, how I break apart like a silo versus a page cluster, or group, like a hub and spoke model. Silos are really good targets. Like the tops of those silos are really good targets for modular links. But the sorry question was not completed. The pages interlink with the homepage mostly 404 means the old URL, which is already updated. What should I do now? So you're
301 it, right?
Yeah, if you've recreated those pages, then you would want to hit the new targets. If you haven't recreated those pages, and you're letting them drop out completely and you're leaving them 404, make sure you're not linking to the 404s. You got to fix the internal structure, okay? So if you've gone through and you've done an audit and you're auditing the content and you decided, okay, I'm going to combine these 5 pages and I'm going to let this shit drop because it's completely off the topic of the website, you can leave those out as 404s for sure, but then make sure they're not in the sitemap and make sure they're not in the link structure in the website and let them
Ahrefs crawl will show you those.
Use the most linked pages, the internal pages tab of Ahrefs as well. There's a lot of data there for you. But yeah, so those 404s, you can leave them as 404s. You can 301 them if it makes sense. Like,
what about just 301ing anything like that you don't need anymore, just to the contact page? Will that fuck up the site in your opinion, or no?
I don't know if it will fuck it up in a lot of cases, but it's not something I would necessarily do because I'd rather recover the linking structure to where I want it to go.
I've done that in the past just because Ahrefs, like the site score is shit. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I download all of it's like linking to, something that's not there. And it's every page on the site. So Ahrefs is counting one of those. So I was like, all right, it's got to be in the menu. So it had to have been like, I did this a few weeks ago, I think. It had to have been in the menu and I changed the URL. Then it was like, I think it was, I changed something to a plural, or I had 2 pages and removed one. I couldn't figure out what the fuck one it was because it adds that weird link, the question mark equals the page ID. So I just 301'd them to the contact page because I had no idea what the fuck one it was.
So like I would just filter in that case, like I would filter by like anything with linking towards it from external. Just I would prefer to 301.
Oh, it wasn't external; it was all internal, and it had to be like
internal. And if there's any external links coming into those that you're going to 301,
it wasn't.
Then I would push them in. If not, then you can 301 it there, and then the crawl will come.
I know Ahrefs doesn't have how much weight does an Ahrefs site score count for? It counts for something, but it took it from like a 40 something to like 95.
It's a good way to go freaking sell links to someone if you wanted to sell links to someone, dude. Like that's a good lesson for people to like think about with third-party scoring. Is if Brad can manipulate that easily. Maybe you need to rethink of how you're buying your links or how you're building your links if you're relying on third-party scores because they're not everything. It's like I was talking to somebody about spam score or whatever, and like people are filtering out and like getting rid of shit, not getting links from stuff that has a high spam score, which is like a great way to get rid of actually good links, dude.
Well, when you're in some of the niches we're in, they're all going to be high spam score.
Well,
like if you're looking for casino links, everything's going to be a high spam score because it says casino in every fucking link that you get. That automatically trips that spam filter.
How do if this spam score, this third party thing is telling me that this is bad, how do I differentiate what's really bad from what's not bad? And that you start looking at the other factors, like how to optimize a page. So now start looking at, is this a great piece of content that's ranking, or is it a shitty piece of content that won't rank? Does it have fucking alt tags? There's quality at that point, But see, I've heard the term modular link. So modular versus a contextual link in a site for me. A modular link is like menu, something in a include, something.
And you can have different menus on the site if it's in the same module. That's why I referred to the addiction site a minute ago, because they use the actual modular menu linking. Yeah, but they have different menus in the sidebar on this page versus another page.
So like traditionally, like old school silo plugins will have the sidebar linking change based on what category you're in. So in WordPress, if you're in category A, and your freaking plugin that you're using displays all of the top level pages for category A right there. And you just break up your categories like that. And you've got your, your modular links. And that means everything that's linked to in there is getting a sidebar link from topically relevant shit. Now you might have more support pages that you don't want to throw into that sidebar. Fuck you. That you don't want to throw into that sidebar. Those are like contextual links in the content. And that stuff is in the sitemap. So they're coming in through a different place, but you're boosting anything in the sidebar or the header or the footer. You are focusing and theming your site along that, and you are focusing your page rank to those. So that is very important. One of the first things that I look at when I go audit somebody that's not ranking for shit they want to rank is like, do they have the proper shit in the navigation? Do they have proper dynamic linking set up in their menus? So it's a really powerful way to get a huge ranking boost for pages is by using a modular link and that kind of thing. So it's an important thing to understand.
Modular links are the way forward, guys.
Yeah, don't edge them though.
And it's a real term. I didn't make it up.
Not this time.
When I asked it though, because when you started talking about it earlier, I'm like, oh fuck, here they go again, man. And I know Ryan Durrani, he always jokes about this. He's like, I never know if you motherfuckers are telling the truth, or you're just thrown as an old fucking bone. But anyway.
Now we're gonna get questions like which webinar is that in NFG. I'm just gonna be like, watch all of them. I don't know. Hopefully it's labeled.
This is a question for me.
You actually can classify, and we won't go too deep into the nerdiness of modular versus contextual links, but I do edge them, dude, but only by 5 pixels.
Only if they say please and call me daddy.
It's funny because these types of terms, like I'm talking to Wicked earlier today, going over like the data we're seeing from changes, and
he tells me when my sites are expired. That's nice.
He goes, and literally you can go through it and you will see us saying node, edge, all of these terms like are literally in our conversation because that's what they're called. But the buoyancy is important, dude.
It's extremely important.
Domain weight, buoyancy, domain.
Remember when Jimmy? You weren't there, Mike, but Jimmy was describing domain buoyancy at one of the first OMGs. It might have been the very first one, and he had everyone come up with a bunch of cups, empty cups, and he poured water in all of them to describe domain buoyancy.
So for me, I like to call it domain weight. That's what I call it. But then weight to me also seems like a sinking thing. So I started using the buoyancy term because buoyancy makes it's like air in a fucking balloon. You rise up instead of sink, right?
Cream of the crop, rise to the top. Never eat a pig because a pig is cup.
On TikTok too for Craig. I rapped for Craig on TikTok about sinking pirate ships in the surfs, dude. So,
Nice.
Really though, like those lifeguard links are my favorite ones. Actually,
They really save you sometimes. Yeah.
what's a good name for the way acres should be done on tier 2?
Do you Hasselhoff them?
I Hasselhoff my anchors on tier 2, bro.
I thought so. Yeah. I always
That's a good one,
Hasselhoff.
dude. Who's done the most movies in their career, and that's the type of linking it should be, right? We'll call that the Hasselhoff.
I'll look it up later.
Do you universally link your tier 2?
The fuck does that mean?
I have no fucking idea, but let's see if it comes up. Make a short SEO universal linking tier 2. Tier
I'm
2
done with that.
universal linking.
You're done with shorts or?
No, not with shorts, just with throwing names out there, because people now, every time I try and tell someone the truth, like when someone asks for an answer, they're like, nah, that's fucking bollocks. You've just made that up. I'm like, dude, it's the fucking right answer.
I get people that would bullshit me all the time. I would try it. Like, I don't care how fucking crazy it would. I'll give you 3 Fiverr gigs that can rank any Weebly in the world, like for any term. Okay, cool. What are they? And I'd go out and try them. I'm like, that didn't work. Well, I haven't tried it since 2009. Thanks.
Like, I remember how hard people were digging, like, what 2.0 works now that this update happened. Like, fucking that shit.
You know what sucks is when you take all this time to DAS out these properties and you're interlinking them and all that shit. And then you find out that people are just ordering like tiered Web 2.0 gigs and that's all they're fucking doing to rank. But you don't find that out till after that stops fucking working.
Words and numbers make money, bro. Like it's seriously like it's
in your title.
What simple little tweaks to the way you say something or the way you write an ad will do. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's some J. Abraham stuff.
It is, and it's an Efron on tier 2.
Efron, Zach Efron.
Yeah, dude.
I like my Zach Galifianakis on tier 3 though, behind the ferns.
I still like edging, dude, because it's got so much connotation to it. It's fucking great, dude.
Edging's going to win. Edging links is always going to win, man. Over here in the UK, everyone loves that shit now.
Dude, it's just, I mean, like an edge is a connection between two pages. It's just graphs, but I like the idea of pixels and shit. It's good.
But our Laz got a serious question now.
But what's that? Yes. I have a site where every page there's a bunch of empty H2 tags. Would you bother spending time removing them? Definitely would get rid of the empty H2 tags for sure.
Yeah. Why would your site have a bunch of empty like how does that happen?
You know what? It's probably a bad theme or something, like or a bad fucking employee. Dude,
a bad outsourcer. I swear to God, they do that shit on purpose sometimes.
So when I had the office down in Little Italy in San Diego, I hired a brand new grad out of the Art Institute in San Diego, and I had him come into the office, gave him his first task, which was a bullshit task, just to kind of get him to do my tests for like, can I rely on this person? And remember how Dreamweaver will cut shit for you, or Photoshop will slice HTML for you into like 1,000 cells back in the day. Like you'd have like a 1,000 cells, a cell for a fucking period. This dude brought me back the HTML for this design that he had or that I had given him, and literally it was a fucking almost like an image map, dude. It was just all the text was imagery, like everything was imagery, dude. And that's the HTML he gave me, was this giant nested table fucking mess. And that's what I saw from these grads, like left and right hiring them. It was crazy, dude. Like, and I ended up starting to just hire people that were dual citizens out of Tijuana because they would go to school and come out and actually have skills, dude. And like the Americans just were useless, dude. Like straight up useless. I stopped hiring them.
You're in San Diego too, and that's fucking.
Well, yeah,
it's a different world. Yeah.
Fuck that.
Let's see.
Run it through like anything that's like a tech audit type thing. I know Chase's shit has it. Ahrefs has it. I don't know what you have access to, but I'd run anything through that and then fix everything that they tell you to first and see, have your site recrawled, see how it goes.
You definitely want to start checking. Like there's a question about the update. There's been major shifts and on some of the pages where I've seen drops and some of comparing them to pages where there's gains and things. There's major market shuffle and people are really making mistakes around their content and their internal structure. And so I would absolutely be focusing on like making sure that your content is up to snuff when it comes to EAT and topic, and that just takes care of intent if you do that properly. So you just focused on the on-site still until you get to the point where you've optimized your sitemap, you've optimized your link, your menus or your modular links, whatever the fuck you want to call them. And once you're there, then I'd start looking off the site. But right now, I'd go in and really focus on how your page rank is flowing and what you're talking about on page.
My new Otis domain is doing relatively well. I got a new one delivered with content and everything. But it's starting to index and starting to pop. It's just how long do you usually wait with that initial content on there, Craig? You bought a bunch more Otis domains than I have, so just curious. Are you just start pumping content out as soon as you get it? You let it settle?
Yeah.
What's your typical process?
I mean, typically, there is no kind of crazy structure to it. So Ryan Durrani, actually, who's in the chat, so I got my oldest domain name, slapped loads of content on it, and then forgot about it for 6 months while the website was being tweaked.
What's loads of content in your opinion?
174 articles.
Nice. That is. Did you have someone do that for you, or staff, or what?
Yeah, no, I outsourced it to a content agency.
Okay.
And
that probably cost more than the domain, didn't it? That much content?
Yeah. Probably cost me about $5,000 for 174 articles.
Yeah. About 1,000 words a piece, or that's 175,000 words. Yeah, that's a lot.
And Ryan tries like, so how's that website going? And I'm like, dude, I don't know. I've not checked on it lately, but I would, people in the background would be building links to it and all that kind of stuff. Then I would come in probably, 4, 5, 6 months down the line and then start doing my thing properly. But I'm just slapping content on it, build up some additional links, and then see where the land lies, and then I'll decide what course of action I'm going to take. So that's just my kind of sloppy approach to it. I'm not saying that's the right approach, but hey,
it works.
That's the way I go with it.
Honestly, it's better than sitting there stressing about it, but like a lot of people do.
Yeah, people just want to be too much of a rush, I think.
What kind of linking you doing to it? Is it mainly edits, outreach, what?
Probably edits to begin with. Like, I know guys who, with Otis domain names, have just a really aggressive content strategy, and that's enough to get decent rankings and traffic. But I would always look to throw some edits at it, see where it goes, and then decide what else I need to do from there. But in most cases, you always want. I like edits. Edits is probably the best, most cost-effective type of links for me.
Quickest too. I mean, the turnaround should be relatively quick on edits. It's not like you're doing outreach, so that's another reason why I like them.
You're not going to find better, but honestly, if you're pulling domains in and you're restoring like anything, you really should be letting it age for about 8 weeks at least, dude.
Yeah,
like that. There is a time frame where it's more powerful. There's no question about it.
But Likens is asking, have you ever noticed Ahrefs DA score falling after building out social fortresses or free backlink from profiles online?
I've noticed after purchasing them, the DR goes down for whatever reason. I mean, you naturally are going to lose links, so I assume that's what it's from. But the DR shouldn't really drop because of that. Damn, Chase dropped a hundo.
The legend Chase.
What's up, Chase? I got that, man. I'm going to call you, bro.
That's his reaction, that bear face, the NFT.
I'm not sure about the picture though, Chase, but do really appreciate it, guys. Check out Big Chase, super smart guy, and check out his channel, man. Legend of the game.
Started in his basement, now he's here.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Chase. But going back to the question,
that's people were coming at it and talking about linking with this core update, and I just like, dude, you're on the wrong track completely. Stop worrying about that right now.
I don't think linking is Google's issue at the moment. It's not their primary focus. So they've got linking pretty much. I mean, not down, but they've cut out a lot of spam. They've done a lot of work on linking in the past, and I think they've got it down good enough. Whereas content, they kind of need to.
They're great with context, which means that they can do a lot of detection.
Kyle obviously kind of exposed them to an extent. I don't know how much the upper levels at Google are really giving a shit about that, but with the lorem ipsum, that should.
Sorry.
Did you say anything, Craig?
Oh no, I was going to ask you something about content, by the way.
Do it.
Ryan Durrani messaged me today and he's like, dude, how the fuck do you know if one of these content writing motherfuckers out with using Copyscape, Grammarly, plagiarism and all that, how the fuck can you determine whether some dodgy bastard's giving you spun or AI content? What are you guys doing? Because obviously you've got Grammarly, Copyscape, all that shit, but is there anything else? Because I think
a lot of times you just got to pay up for it.
There's copywriters out there that make $1 million fucking a year, dude. Like it's the quality, to be honest. There's not much you can do. It's not cost effective to check it all.
Because for me, a lot of people are going to see the likes of these updates coming out and they're going to get slammed, and they, in the best interest of the business, believe they're getting the best content, and they're not.
You just gotta assume you're not. To be honest, unfortunately,
like, literally, the copywriters that will give you that kind of shit are not getting paid what the copywriters that will give you real content are, and I think that they're your best bet, if it's something that people are concerned about, is to stop being cheap on their
look at Otis. How much their content writers, when you order a content package with their stuff, how much are you paying? You're paying a pretty good amount. I would hope to God that's not AI written, and you could read it and tell. It's not. Like I had the Indian guy that works for me. He does a bunch of surfer content for me, and it's not the same level that I'm getting from someone else. So
good AI content still should cost 15 to 20 fucking bucks a piece, dude. Like good content is not cheap, even if it's AI assisted. I don't know what people are paying, and I know that some people, like 15 to 20 is super cheap. To some people, it's expensive. Like it just really depends where you're at. But when you're looking at like major shops and shit, you're talking about, you've got people sitting there writing for freaking $25, $35, $45 an hour, and they're putting out 100 words an hour or whatever they're doing with the research. They put out a piece a day or something. So like you got to really kind of look at it like, if I'm willing to go this low with what I'm spending on my content production, am I really that concerned? If I can't tell that it's AI, am I that concerned that it is fucking AI or not? Right? Because even if it's AI, like there is shit getting hit right now. Like infocores are getting like tore up, like medical is getting tore up. Like a lot of stuff is shifting, like reshuffling like crazy. But if you stay up to date on your data and you update your content, you're going to stay there and you stay on point. I think that if it's something that's bad enough to get you in trouble just by using that kind of content and search acres working, I think the worry is in the wrong place maybe, because I think it's more of a not paying attention to like updating your content, and I don't mean just like for no reason. I mean like not making sure that you're on point is more of a problem than getting something that has been paraphrased and pulled out of AI or something like that, if they know what they're doing.
I mean, I'll still curate and spin the shit out of stuff, and it still brings in money every month.
Right. So I think worrying more about it from a, like if it's a client, is this more of a client thing, you think, that you guys are or is it like lead gen or affiliate? Like what?
I think in general, he does a bit of all of that when he's asking the question, but he's just that fearful now where he said his pants pulled down more than once.
Yeah.
And
and that can like leave you hanging, especially if it's in a content thing and you get a batch and like then the client figures out something or whatever. Like that's a fucking horrible situation. So I totally get it. That's why there's so many reasons I don't like client work, and this is a major one. I hate those situations, dude, because even in-house staff will pull some shit sometime. Had in-house staff pull shit. So it's hard. That's a hard one, man. That's a good question. You solve that problem. If you have something coming out, if this is all marketing, let me know, because that's definitely something that is frustration.
Yeah, it definitely is. Anyway, has Yaks, have we tried Yaks yet? Just in case.
I don't know what it is.
Or to check what it is.
Yaks Cloud Stacking by Semantic Mastery 1 week ago. Looks like that. Okay, so here, so YACSS plus SM bonus. It sounds like it's kind of like the RYS thing repackaged for Semantic Mastery now that Marco and Rob are gone, is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Is Marco gone completely?
Oh yeah, he's not part of it anymore.
No. Oh, Marco and Rob are together, but outside of SM. Is that what it is right now?
Yeah. They're out.
Oh, okay, I didn't realize that. Yeah.
They're doing the heavy hitter thing. So it looks like it's cloud stacking. So yeah, that was it. So it says,
It looks like it's a software.
is it a software or is it just a service? I'm looking right now. Let's take a look.
I don't know.
From Jesper Nielsen. Or
Someone drop a link. Rob should be on here any minute now.
Okay, so it does domain hunting, crawls the target, spam checking, content production, and cloud hosting. So it sounds like it's not. It sounds like it's not the stacking like I was talking about. It's doing cloud-based PBN stacking is what it sounds like it's doing. So if it works, it works. I mean, concepts work. I mean, you have a host, you have a website with content that's on topic, and it goes up. If it works, great. No, I haven't used their service. I know that they've been around for a long time, and I don't think they promote something that would knowingly screw you over.
Rob knows the shit, so.
That's
This is SM, though. This is Bradley. And Bradley's been around for a long ass time, dude. Like they have a business they care about. I wouldn't be hesitant in turning you away from it, but I mean,
it takes me right to a login. Do
form,
they not have a sales page?
That's what I was looking for. I couldn't find one, dude.
It's under a month old, our last says, and it's not by Bradley. Jesper
It's just the software. I mean, it sounds like a hosting, like a management software is what it really sounds like. It's just, do you want to use that tool or not? If you already have a solution for that stuff, stay away from it. If you don't have a solution, then maybe it's for you. I don't know.
I've not personally tried it, but
Me neither.
so I comment.
Long
but
answer, short answer.
Yeah, long answer. I don't know.
Haven't tried it.
Yeah. You know what I'm trying right now? I went on a Fiverr buying spree, just fucking around, seeing what I can buy. I'm getting some interesting shit, especially when you go with the higher end people on there, like for
to see like what kind of weird SEO link schemes get built up, dude.
Yeah.
It is.
So you're just going about there just trying shit out?
Yeah, for different purposes, but yeah, I might. I'll probably do a webinar or something at some point and walk through it, or save it for if we do an event. But yeah, it's. I mean, I want to be able to go to Fiverr and fucking order everything, which I've done in the past, and from finding domains to building out content to building out websites, but all that shit. It's easy. So
Augie says it is Jesper's and it's good, and I wouldn't think he would say that unless it is. And so does it do like content and or is it a host? Is it a management system? Because it looks like a management system from what I read on the YouTube title.
So let us know, Augie. Other guys, if you have questions,
I got
in the chat.
Let's see.
Otherwise, we're going to have to walk through family photos in Florida of Mike. So
I will start showing you me on Harry Potter rides, dude.
Yeah, in a banana hammock.
Freaking Universal, literally we were at the park 5 fucking days straight, including the water park, dude. Like,
yeah,
I didn't get sunburned, dude, and I'm blown away that I didn't come home with a burn, man.
How was Harry Potter World? Because I didn't feel like our kids were old enough yet to for me to actually spend the money on that. So
the best part was like my 10-year-old was tall enough to ride like this 60 mile per hour 70 mile per hour roller coaster, and she was in shock when she came off. And I asked her, she thought she was going to die. I was flying out of my fucking seat, like I was leaving the seat. It's just a lap belt with inverted drops and loops and shit, dude. They were so sick, but it was rad, dude. Like that was cool. The Harry Potter thing, man. I personally don't think any of that I like California better than Florida, dude. Like I like the part there, but that's probably nostalgia, dude, because I grew up out there. But
my kids better read the fucking books before I
well, that's why we did it. They all read, like even the 7-year-old went through the whole series, and that's what we gave them for Christmas and shit, was a bunch of that stuff, and then the trips. Yeah. But it was worth it. Like we had a good time. They nerded out, dude, and the shirts that my wife bought were like fucking the houses like Puffle, Claw, like all these combinations based on personality, and it made a lot of fucking conversations. So like the people that worked there and were in costumes like were all about it. So it was good for them. They had a good time. But both of them got chosen to get their. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, did you pack fudge at the Chocolate Factory restaurant?
I did pack fudge.
Good.
They have this thing where you go in and they pick one kid out of the group and they like do the whole like fucking the wand chooses you with the fucking dude behind the counter that's the wizard that makes wands and shit. And both of my kids, the younger ones, got chosen because they wanted to go through, but we got chosen both times we went in, which was cool. I thought they got the wands for free, but nah, that's just they tell you which wand you're gonna fucking buy for $80, dude.
$80. Yeah, I saw like all these moms geeking out in there buying the wands. Like my kids wanted it. We weren't going in Harry Potter land. I was like, nah, fuck off. I'll get you a stick when we get home.
Dude, I made them for my kids like a year ago. But like literally once you get in there, they give your kid a wand and say it chose you. And then they say, my assistant will explain everything to you. And then they walk you to the register, bro. And it's like, out of like 30 people, like they pick one kid and do that shit. And I'm just sitting here thinking, like, if I couldn't afford a fucking wand, dude, like how pissed and upset would my child be right now, dude? Like, It's fucked up, dude. It's kind of funny. All right, enough fucking Harry Potter talk.
You got to take your kid, Craig.
Yeah, I will. Once I get my ass over there, hopefully I'm coming over there in September. Hope you guys are going to have a gig.
Are you doing the
Mastermind
Mansion?
Yeah.
What's that all about? How many people?
I don't know, 25 maybe.
25 are attending?
Yeah.
How many, is it like you going to have presentations and shit, or is it going to be more like a hands-on like we've done in the past?
I think it's more of a hands-on thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it should be good. A few decent folks going, so fuck it. Why not? I want to try that style. I enjoy the smaller events.
Where's that at?
Nashville.
Oh, Nashville. That's not far. Nice. Nashville's a cool city. You taking the family, I assume?
Yeah.
I love Nashville.
So, yeah, I've been roped into going there. And hopefully there'll be a few other gigs around about that time as well, man. Just do a little
September?
Yeah.
Late September? Yeah.
Late September.
Maybe we can do one in October. I don't know if we haven't discussed doing one, but maybe if there's enough.
Doing it small and doing it outside of another event that's major industry is the way to go.
Yeah. You've got funnel hacking, but I don't know when that is. I think that's September, so it probably overlap with the one that Craig's already at. So we do that, or we could do a easy 2-day one.
Content and conversion, I think, is the one that looks decent in San Diego.
That's San Diego, though. Yeah,
that's the San Diego one that I'm thinking. But that one, I backed off that for like the mansion type thing before, and it worked out pretty fucking well. GMB much anymore. What's the must do's? Keeping on one up top, weekly posts, weekly geotag, photo uploads, any hacks.
If you're going to do anything like that, just outsource it. But basically it comes down to, you want to start with, if you can, start with the site that has some authority. That's going to give you a boost. Do all your on-site stuff. You know what to do there. Look at the local competition in whatever area you're getting. See what they're already ranking for and where you can improve upon that. And that's how you plan your content plan out. And it all, when we show you how to build out the plugin sites, the NFG plugin, the way that we show you how to do those, you can do it without the plugin if you want, but you need to have that. You need to have essentially one tight cluster on your GMB site. Build that up. You can, it comes down to a time thing, whether you want to put the time in and do a full-blown WordPress site, or you just want to optimize the piss out of one page on your HTML. It depends on how many you're able to get and how many you're able to churn out. Of course, it's harder to scale the WordPress type sites, but if you really want to take your time and get the most out of each one, I would suggest WordPress and building out that cluster. Do that, and then month one, once you get the cluster built out, I would probably just do your basic citations. Just
they've been cleaning up there. Like the FAQ type sites. Like a lot of shit's dropping out, coming back in, and Like some of the imagery AI and stuff that like I'm playing with and looking at is really solid for like this kind of thing here too, because of, and like along the lines of what Brad said with the tight clusters, like you have to remember that they're continuously updating how they understand everything, and imagery continues to be tied into things like crawl budget and understanding. And so when you're doing these tight clusters, like make sure that you're hitting your optimization points and everything, and you will go further with a site that is done like that versus just something tossed there.
I've got plenty that are tossed up.
Yeah, no, right? I'm not saying don't. Yeah. I'm saying that longevity wise, if you're doing it, there's some things taught that I don't really agree with that people are saying to do. And then you look at their sites and they're not doing what they say to do. But yeah, Brad's spot on in my opinion when it comes to the tightness of shit. Yeah. So.
And then it's a monthly linking campaign. Of course, you want to fill out your GMB as much as you can. I never really got huge into posting. Have you fucked around? I guess you don't do much GMB. Have you, Craig?
Yeah. Nah, I do it for more health and stuff, but yeah, it's not a big thing for me.
Fill out your services, fill out your products, all that stuff that you can fill out. Of course, description, all the basic shit that takes 2 seconds to fucking do. And then, like you said, Michael mentioned in the initial question, if you're going to do the stuff like uploading photos, uploading FAQ, uploading this and that, just outsource it and have users do it, like local guides and shit like that. Have them do that, because you're going to get more of a push from someone else posting the shit versus the business posting the shit.
They turned off the entity recognition 3 weeks ago. I don't know, dude. Like for the vision AI, for like the imagery, like as they've been updating like the search, so where you're searching with images, all this mum shit, all these other things that they've been doing for the last year and a half. They turned it off and they're turning it back on, and you can start to see that like it's all associated right now. So they did that and they made these changes, and it came back in, and they start recognizing these images for different entities, and then the core update rolls out, and you start to see reshuffles in a market where they're understanding the market differently, and they're seeing different entities in those query sets. Like, so you have a query, and now no longer is keyword B related to the authority of that query. Like when they start doing all these changes, it's really important to listen about what Brad is saying when it comes to tightness. I like it.
Get it tight, get it right.
Very important to pay attention to it. There's no tool, Tom. It's not an AI image tool. There's just a bunch of different APIs. Like there's just different like image gen. There's stuff that runs off of Google's image stuff. If you go play around, and it's all like a lot of stuff's in Python. Go into GitHub and start looking around for image creation.
I need to hire a Python person at some point. I feel like I need that in my life.
Python is a good skill to have, or have someone around that does it, because there's a lot you can do. Like even map verification and shit, there's a lot you can do. Some of the shit they're doing that's capable of right now, like I was playing around with generating images, like mashups, like the whole object text landmark type thing, but like with what I'm seeing more of now, and you can absolutely pull and create those imageries and like take stuff that is in there that's copyright protected and use AI to modify that enough to be something that you absolutely can use without getting in trouble. So looking into all of that is important.
You ever use article rewrites, Craig? Much?
Yeah.
Just grab an article and someone else's article and then have someone rewrite it. From looking at Copyscape and shit, it looks like it passes that sniff test, but I've never actually done enough of it to say that this will help, this ranks, this doesn't rank.
Article donors are always good. So
donors are fun. They're nice.
I like site donors.
Yeah,
like
full
get their whole
site.
Htrack was fucking rad, dude, for a long time. Like, just ripping the whole site, like copy it and throw it on a stronger link profile, and just literally overtake the original site, like just with straight copies, bro. Yeah. It was fucking rad, dude. Love that shit.
I hate when you want a different homepage though, and they nest it so like you're like, if I change this, it's gonna break the whole fucking thing. So
It's funny.
yeah.
That man, when Cloudflare had its holes, dude, like that was just amazing. Being able to spoof any site and any fucking IP, and then have the internal linking count as external linking, dude. Like with just Lux, like I copied that site so many times and threw it through SiteFlare on like expireds and auction domains, because the way that Cloudflare was actually handling like the DNS and various things, Google like would just see it as a unique domain, even though it was 100% copy on a unique Class C, and it was amazing how fast it was working for like full link campaigns, dude. It was fucking rad. I was gonna teach it, but I got told I couldn't because they said it would break the internet.
That sucks.
Google
Anyway,
pleaded with you.
Allah, what age do I look? That's the question. And I'll tell you.
What age do you feel?
Yeah, I feel
Kelsey did an age thing, and it said she's older than me. So
Jeez. That must be grim.
for her, not me. I feel young.
Someone Hallie is just talking your kind of speak, guys.
Yeah.
Ethically hacked.
Ethically hacked. I like that. Imagine going to a client, just fucking with them, and be like, "Yeah, our ethically hacked links work extraordinarily well." They're like, "What?" Just include that in your presentation. Ethically hacked.
Debbie Electrical, all good, but
What up?
stateside conventions or events, we touched on that.
I talked about going to funnel hacking. I've never been to that one. It seems like he makes a pretty big deal out of it. Had to do at the gym mention going to Cardone's. I said, as long as it's not in Vegas, I'll go to it, because he's like into sales and shit like that. And he's trying to get that shit started. So I said, if you're going, I'll go with you. That's more like middle masturbation type stuff, though, at this point, Cardone stuff. Like, I don't really care about Floyd Mayweather or Steve Harvey, but a lot of people do.
No, I'm not looking forward to anything. Fucking go to them.
I'm not looking forward to leaving my house.
No.
The big question, though, is from Honey. Do you see any change after the May 2022 update, which we have kind of touched upon?
I mean, it's not done, so don't call it after yet. No matter what.
And they could roll it back, too.
They are rolling it back. They're rolling a lot back. And the thing is that, yeah, there's been a ton of changes in different markets, and that's how it always is. And it goes back to the same thing of looking at what has changed and knowing exactly what to look for, because the data will give it all to you. Like, you go to Google, it will tell you intent. You go to Google, it will tell you exactly what modifiers to be talking about on your page. Like, the problem is people still think going to like Wikipedia and getting what Wikipedia is doing, like as the entities or out of the fucking API, is actually what you're supposed to be doing. And it's, again, a great way to screw yourself up. And one of the reasons why it seems like it's targeting AI content and it's hitting info queries really fucking hard is because the information on stuff changes all the time and people aren't doing the process properly. So it's a lot of the 80% like traffic loss, the 100% traffic loss stuff is reliance on outdated data, technology, and process, man. Like, really. So I would say there's change, but there's change like there always is. It's just knowing that they like multimedia, that they like you to be an authority on a topic, and to be an authority and to have you have to have your pages cover the right shit. And that's what it comes down to. If your site and your pages don't cover the right words.
Pages covered in shit. Got it.
Pages covered in shit. But we've been looking at the way that networks have changed a little bit this year, and now like how some of the reshuffling and the way they're understanding the entity has changed, and have put together kind of a little process for updating that information for people. So we'll
Just go to Fiverr.
Go to Fiverr. There you go.
We'll get you.
Fiverr is Brad's new favorite thing. That's the main thing, guys.
I always forget about it. And I'm like, I need to go order like a couple $100 worth of Fiverr shit just to see what I can. And I'll just like browse. I'm like, I'll get that. See what I can find.
Dude, I got them. I got that for the school. I got someone to do a fucking landscape design off of Fiverr.
Dude, you can get some good, like cheap web design on there if you want it.
Fiverr.
All they're using is themes and shit, but like, what do I care? That's what I'm going to use if I do it.
You can start a business off of Fiverr, no question. Like
we did a webinar like that too, didn't we? At one point.
Yeah, we did that. We did like, let's do a process in Fiverr.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you're right. I forgot that. That was a good one. I like that. That was fun.
It's always fun. But anyway, Paul Clark's asking user GMB guys any way to get the info into Data Studio.
I know Ryan Stewart has a bunch of shit like that. I would look at that first and see what hookups he has.
More on organic though. Like he doesn't.
Yeah, he does like full on, but yeah.
The Blueprint's a great fucking thing. I mean, I went through all of his stuff a few years ago, and he has a good process. If you want to run an agency through Drive, like his process it's super solid. I did PM you, bro. So check your PM.
Another one for you guys. Is your free Mininet training updated?
I think that's where we're leaning towards an event this year. It's like for updating network stuff, but it is still
still valid.
Yes. There's just more like there's just more fun shit now with the growth of Google. It becomes more fun, basically.
Fun is where it all at. It's worth taking a look at the GMB into Data Studio. It looks like a gap in the market.
Yeah, no, there's if you have access to your data and can pull your data through API, then you could pull it into into Data Studio either through Sheets or Excel or whatever for sure.
Someone do it. I'm pretty sure there's money to be made there.
I'm sure someone has something out there for it right now.
My Fiverr web design is starting to index. Sweet.
Nice.
This motherfucker has a bunch of pages on it already. Oh, this is awesome.
How much is that the one that you sent me for content?
I found someone cheaper, but yeah, this one she didn't do the niche that I wanted. So I found someone else, and I'm going to try her as well to see the difference. But yeah, I got basically I went and got an expired domain off Fiverr. I set it up on hosting, and then I went and fucking got like a complete web design package, automation type thing. Yeah. And it's fucking pumping out.
The package, the web design.
One of them was the one I got was 70.
That's not bad.
No, not at all. It's cheaper than my typical guys.
Yeah. And it was acceptable.
I'll send it to you. Yeah. We'll see how it indexes and
the other one that we talked about. I definitely want to throw up. If you found a cheaper content one, then I want to try that one.
I mean, the other one wasn't that expensive either.
No, it wasn't. If you want whichever one we want to test, I just want.
Yeah, I just used the cheaper one because he was the most expensive one I could find that wasn't her. That
if we can rank the Fiverr content in the top 5 CPC market like that, then it's a good fucking package to.
Then it's like fucking brain dead simple. So yeah, that's what we're testing right now. Just kind of peeking behind the curtain. So.
That'll be fun.
Get me log into that site and I'll get that one ordered.
All right, I'll make a note. I'll forget.
I was going to say James Moore's asking for an autograph from you.
The naked man. Am I naked? Did I forget clothing?
Whoops.
Must be one
again,
you guys.
So my trip to fucking trying to get down to Orlando was a nightmare, dude.
Well, anywhere traveling is a nightmare for you.
They go like you're an hour late, and they were going to get me in 20 minutes before the freaking connecting flight in Texas, but we were 20 minutes away They were like 10 minutes before, but we were 20 minutes away from the terminal, like by walk, or like 9 minutes by train, like if we were already off in there, right? And then when I started looking into it, there were no flights to Florida from where we were going to be for 3 fucking days, dude. And there were no flights back home for 3 days. And the flights back home was going to be like an extra $5,000 or whatever. So I'm looking at my wife. I'm like, dude, I don't even want to go at this point if I can't fucking get there for 3 days. And she finally talked me into it. And I'm like, fuck it. I guess we'll just go to fucking Texas if we can't make it there.
Dallas is nice this time of year.
We'll fucking wrangle some cattle or some shit. Dude, the guy got us in like fucking 40 minutes early somehow, bro. And like, I swear they were just trying to get people off of the flight because it was fucking oversold, and then it wasn't because of this weather that didn't exist, dude. And they wouldn't compensate for any of it. So I'm like flying with my family. I'm literally flying with my family. I'm like, okay, we're going to get to fucking Dallas and we're going to be stuck there for like 3 days doing nothing with fucking little kids. And I'm like, this is going to suck. But it worked out, dude. It was just a nightmare, dude. Worst fucking flying experience I've ever had, except for like
my worst one was getting stuck in Newark, New Jersey for a whole fucking day. It's terrible because of weather. Sucked.
I've missed flights because of the trains in Dallas. Like that always sucks, dude. That's always a shit show.
Worst case, you could have. It was what did we look it up? 14-hour drive from Dallas to Orlando.
Like a day and a half drive, probably. I talked to some British motherfuckers.
That must have sucked.
On the tram from the like resort to the theme park, and I was like talking about you, Craig, talking about Scottish motherfuckers, and the guy's like, yeah, they're pretty decent people. You know, we're talking. I can't understand anything you guys say if you're talking in your real fucking dialect and shit, dude. He's like, yeah, I talked to them Scottish motherfuckers, and I can't understand, and I can barely understand him, but he's like from like London proper, so he's kind of understandable. Like you can kind of make out what he says. But,
yeah.
So you came on vacation with me, dude.
But
you slept with the mom.
Maeve missed you.
Catch the replay, I suppose. Hashtag roast Brad on the replay.
Hashtag roast Brad.
Roast Brad, give him any abuse you want. All over the
comments. Hey, anybody on here, if you guys have sites that got hit or anything, send them over. I'll run them for free because I need always more data is good. MikeSPierce@gmail.com.
MikeSPierce@gmail.com.
That is right.
What does the S stand for? Sucker?
It's my middle name, Spencer.
Seen your interview with Dino, the Naked Man credit. I knew what you were on about, James. I knew what you were on about, but it was easier to let these guys think they were the Naked Man.
Dino is still around, huh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Facebook, right?
Yeah.
He still works with what's his face? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure.
Gotcha.
But I was on Dino's podcast the other day, and it's always a lot of fun.
Nice. We better wrap this bad boy up because I got to pee.
I got to eat. You guys have a good one. Thank you all.
See you later, guys.
Otis.